Good family, we live. We are live. Happy Holy Day. Shmarnins. Shmarnins. All that shit out. Make sure I'm good. Alright, haven't done one of these in a couple. Um, you should be able to hear me clear. Pretty sure everybody is at the Job in the AM, hustling, grinding. Do what you gotta do. Um, well, that picked up quick. What's up? What's up? Peace, everyone. Thank y'all for joining. Happy Holy Day. So, I ain't gonna be too long today. That's the first thing, because I got other things to do today. Second thing is I'm trying to comprehend why everyone is choosing to bypass nationality and then try to dive right into business, like like they don't go together. You know what I'm saying? Like one doesn't need the other. It's a little confusing. So I wanted to do a video to fill in those blank gaps. You know what I'm saying? That not a lot of people really speak about. And this is the same type of shit that get a motherfucker caught up because he's not paying attention to the details. So if you want to talk about business in any way, shape, or form, if you're talking about business, you're talking about trust, you're talking about any of these things, hit the pause button, hit the brakes, stop, wait, hold up, listen. Status is all about who you are and what role do you play in society. Whether that role is leaning more to the public aid or whether that role leads more to private aid, meaning you just about you and your inner circle and your family. Public would be like you know, I want to be part of the community but not all out. You know what I'm saying? Want to hold some things for myself privately. I will do certain things on the public side, but for the most part, private. Nothing wrong with that. Honestly, that's how most of us should be operating because um, we have a right to control the level of degrees in which we are interacting with the state. There's levels to this shit. You got some Moors who are acting out with the state on this level. You got some Moors who are acting out with the state on this level. You got some Moors who are acting out with the state on this level. And then you got some Moors who are acting out with the state on this level. And then you got some Moors who are acting out with the state on this level. Well, you know, I don't got two left or right hands, right? So, right? Handshake. Y'all seen the handshake, haven't y'all? The handshake. That means deal, contract, business. But you cannot dive into commerce as property. I'm going to say that one more time. I'm going to say that one more again, and I'm going to go even slower. You cannot into commerce as someone else's property because commerce is modern day warfare, right? So normally after a war or a battle, right, the winner gets to claim their booty and prize, or they get to claim the, residuals. All right, bet. I don't know how many of y'all play RPG games like Skyrim, you know what I'm saying? Played games like Grand Theft Auto, played games like Fallout, right? But essentially, when you battle it out and you kill someone or you take up their space or you know what I'm saying, you get into altercation in these video games, What happens is all the shit that they were wearing is now available to be taken for your own use, right? That's warfare. That's simple, um, like that's simple law in reference to war. If y'all battle it out, the winner gets to take whatever he wants. All right. So, what do you think happens if we're going into war and rather than being the being that's holding all the shield and the armor and the sword, you're the shit, you're the things in that warrior's pocket. So now imagine the things in the warrior's pocket is pleading out for the right to do commerce. I know I'm being hella extreme, but you got to put things on an extreme level for people to really comprehend for some reason. Everybody speak their own language. So I'm going to bring it to you once again. While we talking about commerce, I'm not saying commerce is not important. I'm not saying it's not a mountain that we all need to climb. Yes, we all need financial literacy, including myself. I'm not gonna even dare to sit up here and act like I got the whole commerce side figured out. Um, I'm still figuring that part out. Honestly, for me right now, it's just like I got enough ideas, just executing to see which works now. But for me, the main thing that I wanted to get tight and secure was, identity. I can make sure that I am who I say I am in this society. They recognize me as who I am in the society. They have that respect for and reverence, right, for my creed, and they treat me how they're supposed to be treating me according to the law. When we're talking about commerce, we're talking about the ability to own something. You can't own something if you're someone else's property. The whole idea or the action or the ability to own something is a direct reflection of that being's level of freedom. Don't y'all comprehend? Don't y'all comprehend? Don't y'all comprehend? And then I'll give you another flip. For example, I could own 50 acres of land, right? I own 50 acres of land. I get arrested, right? Because in order for me to get the money to get the 50 acres, I had to do a lot of business in these streets. All right. So let's say I'm moving weight, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, da 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 da, busting moves. Now I cop this 50 acres of land. I cop it and then, put in my mom's name or some shit like that. Right? Trust law. Doesn't always have to be with entities. Then I get caught up. I get caught up. I get a charge and then they send me upstate for like 20 years. Let me explain something to y'all. That 50 acres is going to be chilling there. I own it, right? Can I use it? Am I free to walk out of this cell, go outside, go to my property, and start doing what I need to do? Or am I confined to this fucking box because I'm someone else's property? Do you see how that works? If I'm not free, nigga, I can't even get to my bag. What are you talking about? Me getting to my bag is the reflection of the level of freedom I have, physically and mentally. You cannot bypass freedom and go right into business. Free people do business. Why? Because in their business dealings, they have the right to ownership, the right to control something, the right to have the final say so on these particular subject matter. If you are still talking about, yo, you don't want to deal with the state, you don't want to go get your name changed, you don't want to go get your passport, you don't want to go update your social, you don't want to go get yourself a trust. If you're not talking about that, you out to lunch. At this point, that's the baseline. This is the baseline now. 2021, the baseline is if you know who you are, your shit should be reflecting that. If you say, yo, I'm indigenous, I'm an American Indian, or I'm a Moor, I should be able to ask you, hey, bro, let me see your ID. Whoop, whoop, bing, right there in my face. No problem. So, dealing with the aspects of business, business, business. So, for one, to be able to make solid contracts, you have to be of the age of majority, especially if your parents or your mother and father are not signing off on your behalf for these contracts because your ass is too big to need their permission for that shit. That means that when you go out into the world and you start contracting, but you have yet to correct who the fuck you are, your shit ain't gonna be respected. You can't skip um your obligations to your family and go right into business. And that's essentially what we're doing because we still not clarifying exactly who we represent, what class of people do we represent. Right now, what you're saying is that you represent a class of people or persons that don't exist. I already know Light Up Squad with me. Happy Holy Day, y'all. I haven't done one of these in a while where I actually light up online, but it's like, yo, I'm vibing out. And a lot of y'all still haven't done the very things that I'm talking about. So don't be judging me because I'm enjoying myself. Told you, levels to this shit. Listen to me. No one's telling you like they told me, right? I'm a real dude, right? So no one's telling you that in order for you to claim your indigenous rights, you have to, you have to, you know what I'm saying, become part of the Morris Science Temple of America, or you have to, uh, you know what I'm saying, become a Hebrew Israelite, or you have to become a Nuwapian, or you have to this, or you have to that, or you have to annex this title to your name, or you have to. I just want to let you know, you are the God. You don't have to do shit unless you want to. First of all, only thing I'm trying to share with the family is that it don't matter what you do in life. Whatever you do in life, you want to make sure that your identification and your status is in tune. That's what you really want. That's the foundation for all things. Whatever you're talking about, I want to go into commerce. I want to go into this and that. I want to be industrious. Well, all right, whoever the fuck you are, if you want to be industrious, you have that right, don't you? Is it a right or is it privileges? See, because people have rights and they can engage in certain privileges, levels. Persons, persons, persons. Oh, persons have privileges, my nigga. Persons don't have no rights to shit. Persons have the right to listen and do what the fuck they're told, or you know what I'm saying, or do as the administrator, or the authorized representative wishes to move. That's how a person's operated. So, like I said, Even if you're not going in for a name change or whatever, you still need to do an update on your SS5 form with your social security information. Even if you haven't done shit else. Even if you haven't done shit else. At least, go and update your information on social security. At least. That's the least you could do. And that process is free. All you gotta do is print out an SS5 form, or you can go down to a local social security office and just they have them laying on the tables. Like, fill it out, bro. Update your update your race and ethnicity, right? Well, if you don't smoke, you really won't comprehend. But one thing that I really can't stand is when you roll a good J and that bitch ain't pulling right. Oh, there we go. I'm a real dude, y'all. Hopefully, enough of y'all ain't just like sitting there like, yo, what is he talking about? He's talking about shit. Because you know me, I like to give references, and I like to show receipts, right? Everyone who's involved with Suno University, thank you for showing your support and purchasing the book, which is for your salvation. This is what I use for mine, and I'm just sharing my journey with you in this book. So this book is my process. I laid out my process in this book, and then I've had other people uh, step and repeat, and is produce the same results for people across the country here in the United States of America, for people in other countries in America, as well as outside of America. For example, Trinidad, Tobago, Jamaica, Korea. Korea one is wild for me, bro. Canada, um, oh yeah, Mexico as well. Um, I helped some Moors get their passports in Korea, and then I helped Moors establish their own trust, and then take that trust and then register it on the public side underneath the underneath religion with the Secretary of State, whatever that office is called in Korea. And then they email me the charter that they got back from the, for lack of not knowing what that office is called, the Secretary of State in Korea. Bro, I was fucking lit. I was fucking lit because that's like, yo, not only did y'all get y'all shit together, but then y'all able to establish and do the same thing that I'm doing with my tribe over here. That means it's the truth, because the truth is universal. And the truth is not complicated. It doesn't require all this. A couple things, man. A couple things. Boop, boop, boop. Go knock this out. Go take care of that. And then you be on your way. So, I'm going to talk about the SS5 form. And also, too, to show support, please visit and go ahead and like the Suno University page on my Facebook. Just go on to Facebook and type in Suno University. Page will pop up. Please like. Please join. The link to order the book is on the Suno University page on Facebook, as well as if you just send a message, uh, you will also get the information to the email in the automatic response. So just go on the page, Suno University, on Facebook, like the page, show support. If you wish to purchase the book, the link to purchase it on the book page is on the site. It's on the page. All right. Hit the button or hit the link, and then make your order. And thank you in advance for your support, because this is where I'll be coming from. All right. So this SS5 form. Boom. I will show y'all some of the things. But if you really want to see all of the things, cop this book. Alright? This is the SS5 form I'm talking about. Whether or not you feel, and I say this with extreme importance, whether or not you feel in your soul that you need to change your title or that you want to elevate yourself to another title, just know, just because you don't have a El Beyday, Al Ali, Pasha, Allah, whatever on your title, doesn't mean that you're not a Moor, right? That's like me saying, if my last name wasn't L, that would no longer make me dark skinned. You see what I'm saying? Me having the title L does not dictate my bloodline. My bloodline dictates my bloodline. Right? So, Moor is any dark-skinned person. So, I reiterate that so we can start really having the proper perspective when you speaking to a Moor that knows what's going on, right? Moor doesn't specifically identify you. It identifies dark-skinned people generally. Because not everybody got time to sit there and figure out what family you come from. Nor do you wish to disclose that information to everyone you come across. You feel me? All right. So, on a general standpoint, that would be, oh, okay, these people are Moors. A Moor from where? Where are you from? Will dictate what type of Moor are you. So learn your family history. If your family from Cuba, do motherfucking history on Cuba. You'll find out that the people that occupied the space called Cuba was the Mayans. But remember now, everyone in the Caribbean islands is Arawak. Right? Arawak. Arawak. All right. No one said the Arawak people were the people of the Iberian Peninsula. I just told you the so-called Arawak people of Cuba are the Maya. So who are the Arawak people? You see what I'm saying? They're Moors, though. They're all dark-skinned, melanated, of the soil, of the dirt, of the ground, which they stand upon. That's what being indigenous means. So before 1492, if somebody called you a Moor, that wasn't disrespectful. That was actually a sign of respect because they don't know where you come from or what you represent yet. So from a general standpoint, the most respect they can give is to call you a Moor. And a Moor does not mean what a black person, what the definition of black means. I've said this before. This is where people get this shit mixed up. A Moor is referencing an indigenous being. So when someone calls you a Moor, although they don't know what family you come from, they're still letting you know, I recognize that you are an indigenous being on this planet. Where you're indigenous to, I don't fucking know. I could ask the question, and then if you're up to it, you can give me the answer. Other than that, we can't just walk around here talking about we Moors and we don't know anything else about our own family history. That is incomplete. I could not call myself a Moor if I didn't know about my Haitian culture. You got me? So, even if for someone who did not uh, do the name change and is not reflecting one of the ancient titles, right? Doesn't mean you're not a Moor. What makes you a Moor is you being identified as who you are. It's not in the name. The status is not the name. A lot of people think the status is the name. The status is not your name or your title. Status, your status is here. On the SS5 form, your status is reflected in two places. Okay? Here. Here is where your status is reflected. American Indian and white. American Indian and white. This is the first place your status is reflected. A lot of people would assume that the status is being reflected here, right? For US citizen. But if you read this manual and you read what all the words that's being used on this particular form and their definitions, then you would realize this has nothing to do with status. Because the US citizen, let me show you the US citizen tell y'all time and time again. I would like to introduce y'all to my US citizen. This is my US citizen. Right? And then I had to verify, right, that commercially I'm taking control of my US citizen and I'm operating from the United States of America, not the United States. Why? Why did I have to do that? Because on this form, let me let y'all know right here. On this form, that entity, that birth certificate I just showed y'all, that authenticated birth certificate, that is the US citizen. So this is why I said this has nothing to do with status. It is race, ethnicity, and then it boils down to question number 18. Right here. This is where status is decided. On the SS5 form, that's question number 7 and question number 18. And real rap, with more of the wisdom that I have now, if you are Hispanic or Latino, check yes. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna update this one more time. I'm gonna update this one more time, bro. I'm gonna keep everything as is, and then I'm going to check yes for Latin, because the people of the Caribbean islands originate from South America. Ain't that Latin America, y'all? See how we learning and growing as we come together, right? But anyway, 7 and 18. What does 18 say? Your relationship to the person in item number 1 is, right? Your relationship to the person in item number 1 is, what's in item number 1? Item number 1 is the name to be shown on the card, which is my updated title. And item number 1 also includes my name at birth, right? So if you read the manual for the SS5 form, you would know that anytime it uses person, You're talking about a corporation, a partnership, an individual, or an estate. So when they ask, what is your relationship to the person? What's your relationship to this corporation, this partnership, this estate, and this individual? What's your relationship? Most people will hit the first box. First box says self. If you check self, you're saying that you're an entity. You're saying that you are a person. So don't get mad if you treat it like one, right? You're supposed to hit the other box. Specify. Where we at? You could type in registered owner, grantor, heir, beneficiary. All those things work as well. That's what determines your status. All right? American, Indian, and white. Your relationship to the person, which is the U.S. citizen. What's your relationship to the U.S. citizen? I'm the owner of the U.S. citizen. I'm the holder in due course of the U.S. citizen. I'm not it. I'm the owner of it. I'm not it. I'm the owner of it. When you update this properly, that's what you're saying legally. Okay? Now, and then from there, Form 56, get your shit together. All right? Legal constructive notice, go apply for your passport, explanatory statement to go with the passport, or another name for it could just be consul letter, etc., etc. Okay? So, just keeping things simple, y'all. Simple, 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 simple. So, if we are operating through, right, once our identity is straight and shit, and we know who we are, and it's identified legally in the public, and then you have certain, instruments to reflect that, like I said, state ID or driver's license. Okay, nothing wrong with having a license or a state ID. God damn it, go get your shit together more. All right, or go get, and then on top of that, go get your passport. That's why it's crazy to me. You need your license or your state ID to get a passport. You need that to get a passport. Okay? There's no way around it. It's crazy because we'll say all day that the Caucasian people created nothing from scratch. Everything they got is from us. So what? You think they created the idea of driver's license, state ID, passport? You think that idea came from them? But we will all agree everything else came from us. So everything else came from us except for that. Come on, y'all. like, let's be real. Let's be honest. Only reason why we have a problem with it really is because so-called majority is Caucasian people in there. And honestly, I think if we really did the proper statistics, I don't even think it's Caucasian people in there like that. But honestly, the reason why you have a problem about it is because you ain't running your own shit. And it's like, yeah, we put these people in place to run it for us. We can't do everything. We can't build and run the shit at the same time. Everybody got a part. Everybody got a position to play, and that's how that game go. So get your shit registered. Now, once your identity and shit is straight, and you're actually classified as an owner in this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why you're an owner is because you were born first, right, from your mom's womb, and then that entity was created. So your essence created it, right? You can exist without it, but it cannot exist without you, meaning the U.S. citizen. You can live without the U.S. citizen because you're an American. The U.S. citizen cannot live without you. It cannot exist without you. Right? So that part. And then once your status is correct, then you can move on. Then we can really start talking about business. And like I said, I ain't gonna sit here and act like I done figured the whole set off, discharge, how to do shit and stuff like that. I have not. I've been putting ideas together, different strategies, but I have not executed nothing. So that's why I don't speak on it because I haven't done it. I don't speak on shit I haven't done. Um, so at this point, I'm like, yo, if you're more and you doing this shit on a regular basis, setting off things, paying for things, um, you need to email me because 2021, this is something everyone should be doing. And I'm not really worried about people seeing this shit and catching on. I'm gonna tell you why. Real rap, this is a different level of knowledge that we are all on. This isn't your regular school of thought that, the masses are on, for lack of a better term, right? The rest of the people. They're not into that. They're not into this type of information like we are. And we both know. When I say we both, meaning me and everyone else on this live, you and I both know the amount of energy, time, and effort it took to really start digesting this information. This ain't some shit you just wake up the next day and you comprehend everything. That's just dealing with nationality. Fuck going into business. That's a whole, and start dealing with trust. That's a whole, not to say it's impossible, but that's a whole nother um, way of thinking that you got to adjust yourself to. So that's not something a person just gets overnight. So trust me, I'm not worried about um, putting this information out there because if you have the ear to hear and the eyes to see, it's for you. This is a service offered by the United States of America. So I'm like, yo, why is anybody hiding this information? This is a governmental service. They're supposed to be doing that for us. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be doing that for us. They're supposed to be doing that for us. So therefore, the information should be free. And then as far as I'm concerned, it's like, if you're doing it, you should have no problem showing other people how to do it too. Honest people, people who are really serious about their freedom. Because I'm going to get there. I'm going to figure this shit out. And when I do, you already know what's going to happen. You already know what's going to happen. So, let's graduate into the second aspect of this conversation now. Trust, right? Business. Many questions I get from people are, so once I have my trust, like how do I fund my trust? How do I put property underneath my trust? Then I'm gonna ask you this question. If you didn't know nothing about trust, your entire life, right? Everything is in your current name. If you have an ID, it's in your current name. If you have a bank card, it's in your current name. If you do own a business like a LLC or whatever, the name of the owner is in your name. When you go and register a car, right? It's in your name. How'd you do that? When you go and buy a car, the name of the buyer, you write down your name, right? So, why I bring those things up? I bring those things up to let you realize that it's a build. We don't have to take away to try to understand how to put property in our trust. Keep what we've already been doing our entire lives and switch the pieces around. So I have my own tribe. So there's a certain way we can move already, and it's the same for everyone, whether you're part of an organization or not. You can move the same way. You can be just as creative, right? So for me, this is how I would move. It don't gotta look like mine, right? This is my articles of organization. You know what I'm saying? This is this is my joint, right? And then because my organization has a seal, my tribe, we have a tribal seal, so I was able to put a seal on that, right? And then get everything notarized. Okay. But this is for my entity, Cool Breeze. Okay. People have many names for this document: articles of organization, deed of trust, declaration of trust, declaration of trust, um, and yeah, deed or will. You can also call this a will, right? Because you lay out your intentions for what this organization is. So for me, now I have a car, right? What do I want to do? I want to go transfer the title of the car and put the car underneath my trust, right? That means the name of the registered owner should be Cool Breeze. It shouldn't be my title. So now I need to go to the DMV or the DOL, right? So what's my process on that? I'm going to bring my articles of organization with me. I don't have my license on me right now, but I'm bringing a form of identification, right? That reflects my title as the owner of this entity, right? Of this trust, right? I go to the DMV or the DOL. Oh, and then the registration, the actual registration for the vehicle, right? I go down to the DMV. I let them know, hey, I want to gift. I give them the registration. Hey, I want to gift this over to my trust. Or I want to gift this. Sorry. You can say trust if you want. I like to come from a place of religion because. So I'll just say I would like to gift this to my church. Or I like to gift this over to my temple. You know what I'm saying? Put that religious in there because this conversation will go smoother. So I would like to gift this over to my church. This vehicle. Here's the registration for it. They'll have me fill out the information. They'll ask me for ID. That shows what? That within this written document, and it don't matter how your document looks, that within this written document, your name or your title is there. Okay? See that? Ku'un L. So when I present the ID, Ku'un L, right? Should be your driver's license, but could use your passport card as well, or state ID, whatever. So for example, for mine, what it says here, the Religious Indigenous Unincorporated Association derives the authority from Ku'un El, the Moor, the indigenous being, the heir and descendant of the Moorish Empire. Okay? The articles, number one, the articles for the unincorporated association is completed for the Ku'un El, the indigenous being in propria persona sui juris sui heritis, solo proprio, the owner in equity hereafter. That's how I write my shit. All right? So on my governing laws, I am the owner in equity, the beneficiary, the man, okay? So you establish these things, right? They'll put down the information and then they'll ask you, okay, after they see your ID, then they'll ask you, can you show me something? And let's say you have a tribal ID. Can you show me something that shows you're a member of that? So I did that, right? I went into the document and showed my name. That's one way of doing it. I could have also done this. I could have also done this. Here's my tribal ID, right? So I'm just showing y'all how y'all can move with your self-identification as well as your public identification, right? If you're part of an organization, you should have some type of something that could show. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Suno University is teaching other Moors how to do. We're teaching Moors how to be able to stand on their own too and do exactly what we're talking about. It doesn't help if it's just one organization and everyone needs help. You got to start establishing more and more and more organizations, more and more groups of people who are about that work, right? So then you'll use your articles of organization, or you'll use your tribal ID or nationality card, or I say church card, temple card, temple ID, whatever you want to call it, right? Just to show that you are a member of the organization. And then you fill out the information. They'll give you the charge for the fees or whatever. You pay the fees, and then boom, you get your title transferred. Now you should have a registration that says registered owner, Cool El Breeze. That's how you do it. I'm going to the bank. I'm gonna bring my articles of organization. I'm gonna bring ID. I'm gonna go open up a bank account. Make sure I got my EIN number. I'm gonna go open up a bank account. No different than how I open up a bank account previously. I'm just opening up a business account. If it's a religious organization, you want to shoot for a nonprofit. But every bank is a little different, so they use different language. So you just want to make sure, from a general standpoint, you say, hey, this is a religious organization. I would like to open up an account for a religious organization. And you let them tell you what the language for that is in their jurisdiction. That's the that's the game, yo. It's not complicated. It's so simple. It's so simple, man. And they got people running in circles, yo. This shit ain't cool. This shit ain't cool, man. Shit ain't cool. Shit is not cool. And so this is why we do certain things and we go through certain processes. Alright? So that's how we operate in business. And then for land, let me not forget. For land. That process, so every county court, you gotta find it though. It's gonna be something dealing with real estate or some type of affidavit or court form that you fill out. And 9 times out of 10 is gonna be in the county recorder's office. All right. But once again, do the research on your own local county court to figure out how they function and where you need to go to get what you need to get. But every court has a form dealing with excise taxes, property taxes, right? When you're transferring property like land over to a trust, you fill that out. In that form, you put in the name of the trust, you list that it's a religious organization, etc., etc. And then you file it along with a deed, right, or affidavit. And in that affidavit, it should be coming from uh, the owner, right, or the previous owner who is now gifting that property over to your trust. So they're not gifting it to you. They're supposed to be gifting it directly to Cool Breeze. No different than a vehicle. Someone draws up a bill of sale, or you go buy a vehicle privately, the buyer is Cool L Breeze. It's not Cool L. The buyer is Cool L Breeze. I would write Cool L Breeze as the buyer. Okay? Because I'm doing everything through my trust. Alright? So they have a court form. You got to find out what it is. It's dealing with real estate, right? And take care of property taxes. So that's how you deal with that. There's a remedy for everything. All right. So that's how you're supposed to be functioning as far as commerce goes. It's not complicated. It's really not complicated, yo. It's not complicated. Um, Once your status is straight, now you can feel free to experiment, as long as you're not damaging someone else or injuring someone else or damaging their property. You good. We are scientists. We're here to experiment and figure out different ways of making this shit work. There's many ways to skin a cat. So, um, no more of this holding information, bro. If you know how to do this shit, hit me up and let's build on making that happen. All right. So with that, I'm gonna close out. I'll catch y'all on the flip side.